Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Life comes with a lot of decisions, and it can be hard to know the right path sometimes. A therapist can help you map out what you really want, so you trust yourself to make great choices and feel excited about the future. BetterHelp offers convenient professional online therapy on your schedule, however you want it, by phone, chat, or video call. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
Now, the greatest story never told with Miles and Thrill.
Oh, welcome to the Greatest Story Never Told podcast. I believe we are at episode number 13.
I don't know.
The good news is this, as we try to create some funding for our friends at the Fisher House.
Yes.
Both the 3 VA Puget Sound and JBLM Fisher Houses, we determined that it would be a good idea to get this podcast sponsored.
What a novel idea.
So we're going to monetize this, and then we're going to give the money. I know it's like you just listen to it for 20 minutes, you don't care. But if we could get a sponsor, then we would take that money and give it to our friends at the Fisher House, right?
It's not about us, man. Listen, we just want to get this. One, it seems sensible. That's what people do, right? Otherwise, there's no business model sales. Otherwise, no, seriously, why do you have a job if you don't get that? Beyond that, let's make sure the money we give goes to charity. Period.
So we read this on the air. It says, "Hi, Mike. Subject: Greatest Story Never Told."
Why are you reading it?
Here, you read it.
It's personal to
Mike.
Actually,
it's your email.
It says Mike.
It's your email. Go ahead.
It says, "Dear Mike, I'm assuming you read this directly, so I'm taking it right to you. On the off chance no other potential sponsors have reached out to you, I would like to sponsor the next episode of the podcast."
First of all of us get it. Like, everyone on the show got your email. It's not as direct as you think, but please carry on.
I do not own a business, it says not, I'm guessing it says nor do I have anything to sell. I'm just a man who sees an opportunity, and what's the worst that could happen? Some details/highlights to turn into copy for sponsor read. My name is Blake Bender. I live in Linwood.
Blake.
Linwood is a lovely city. My sister lives up there. I was an intern on the BJ Shea Morning Experience in 2007. The isolated vocals of David Lee Roth that are still played on the Men's Room today are audio files originally ripped by me and submitted via email. The company I work for provides texting for radio stations, not Intercom. They fired us, and the Seattle stations never used us, but that is okay. Please accept my offer of $5 American via your choice of Venmo or PayPal. I will also be willing to join you and or the members of this podcast at Stan's Barbecue and split the family plate.
That is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Blake.
Hey!
He's not going to be upset with Stan.
We now have our first official sponsor, and again, his name is?
Blake.
Blake, and Blake, thank you so much for sponsoring the Men's Room Greatest Story Never Told.
Yeah.
We're going to take that $5 off your Venmo, and we are going to give it to our friends at the Fisher House.
That is
this
correct.
should hopefully inspire our sales staff to maybe want to sell the podcast. We hope. If we can get $5, guys, we can get 6. We might get 7. We might get $7.37.
Go for 50.
No, we might
go.
I
for
say
50.
Go for $17.37. That's what we're looking for.
So episode 13 brought to you by Blake Bender.
Yeah. So today on the podcast, I think it's fair to say.
It's a good thing we're teamed up with Apple.
You know, like yeah, right.
I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. You team up with the biggest podcasting dispenser, I guess, of the world, right? Mm-hmm. And you still fail and whiff the mission. Why do we listen to your advice? I'm sorry.
So if you can beat Blake, if you can give us, so it's $5. If you can give us $5.23 that we can give to the Fisher House, you are our next sponsor.
Yep.
Just that easy. If you don't know, and you probably don't, the world of radio that we live in has gone through an incredible amount of change within a short period, probably the last 3 or 4 months. People that we've worked with throughout the years, they've been let go of their lives, their livelihoods, and everything else. And you don't think that's a big deal. It really does affect us as people because these are people who have families. These are people who move for people, who try to do a good job, who try to do the best they can to make the companies that we work with money.
You're very, very kind about how you phrase this.
Just like
listen,
we're trying to
radio's
make
radio.
$5.73 on this podcast.
Radio is built of people that do nothing but panic. Some people call it cowards, but when I say that, they get upset. So I'll just say, people that don't necessarily see and or not comfortable with the future of truth. All right, so there's a couple of big major radio companies in the world. One of the companies who's known for being awful, they've just bloodletted, 80% of their on-air talent?
10.
Was it
10.
10%? What?
10, but they have 13,000 people on there.
They are, it is what it is.
It's thousands of people without a job.
I don't really go for that. I understand that things are what they are. I understand this particular company. Maybe you watch their country radio TV show. Here's the thing, and this is the truth. It is amazing to me. So radio, just like anything, you make your money from advertisers. TV makes a ton of money. Truth, not my opinion. No one watches TV. They do not. And people spend their money there. They don't spend their money on radio.
Well, advertisers do.
Yeah. Spend your money on radio. If you don't, and just if you're a salesperson, if you find someone that spends all their money on TV, the person you're talking to, and I mean this, they are fucking stupid.
They are.
Take their money. This is someone who cannot do math. So put it here, man. That's all.
So this week on the podcast,
Reach people. Make it matter.
Okay. And keep in mind, I don't know specifically why certain people were let go. Obviously,
they suck.
Those are individual.
A lot of them.
Well,
a lot of it's on you, man, and you know it.
Well, and a lot of it is individual decision making based on the budget. Blah 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 blah.
Blah blah blah.
It's a business, and
we have a $15 billion budget. We can't pay you $20,000 a year. Sorry, gotta let you go.
So I think on this podcast, in honor of the people that were let go, and there were a lot of them, and they do have families, and they do. It does affect them. Like, it affects them to the gut. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is their passion. This is what they do. They might not do it nearly as bad as Steve and myself and Mike here, but they
fight for more.
They
fight for more.
They're busting their ass, and they got let go, right? And this is only the beginning. Don't be surprised if we only make it to episode 14.
We might be gone next week.
We're already trying to figure that out.
This is the radio
This
industry.
is the world we live in, and everybody
give your money to TV that nobody watches. Because that's how smart they are.
We find out today that they replaced our good buddies Ron and Don over at Cairo a year ago.
Yep,
those guys were the most solid guys ever. They did more for the community. They went in and hell, man, you had a kid that needed a diaper. You name it, Ron and Don.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The big businesses only pretend that it matters.
So they fired them for whatever reason they did. And they put on a new show, and then that show has since been fired today as we record this. And I never heard their show, but I know that they've been in the market, all those guys, a long time, and worked their ass off to get to the point.
How many music shows or how many radio shows have you heard? I heard a bunch growing up. Since I've been on the radio, I listen to very few, which is no offense to anyone. I don't care. I'm out to do my thing. You do your thing. But if you're in radio, I truly hope that you do radio in honor. I want you to compete with me. I want you to be good, right? So this particular company,
we appreciate everyone on radio. It's hard,
and it sucks.
It's hard, man. It's a hard business to be in. And when you come in every day and it's all negative and it's all a bunch of crap, and then a bunch of people get fired, it sucks because it just does. So we would like on this podcast to let you know that there are some instances where, yes, people should have been fired. And
that's most of the time.
Because it's radio and firing, and that's what we're talking about. And all these guys who have kids, who have wives, who have family, who have people that have mortgages, they have rent, they have all this stuff, they have car payments, they're going to be hurting very shortly. But we will tell you some stories of people who absolutely deserve to be fired. And I will go back to my days when I worked at B104.3 in Baltimore.
B104.
And I'll tell a quick story, then Steve will tell a quick story, then I'll tell a quick story, then Mike will say, hey, it's time to get out, and we'll get the out of here. So I walk in one morning on my computer, and I realize that I am in an open area office situation.
All right.
My computer at this time, it's about 1997, 96, has no less than 1,000 different Internet Explorer browsers open. Because this is the way spam worked then. The guy who was on the overnight at Heaven 600, the heartbeat of gospel,
yeah,
the religious station in Baltimore, which did very well because everyone's blessed, Everyone loves God, you know what I mean? But in that instance, more of an intelligent level of Christianity. You know, you're talking about Baltimore City, where people are a little bit more hip to the know, but yes, a big faith-based, community that, hey, man, no matter what, like, I understand you went out and got busted for coke last night. I understand you went out and had weed on you. I understand you went out and beat up your buddy. But guess what? We're all blessed. Let's get back together Sunday. We'll go to church. Everything will be fine.
I dig that.
I do too, because it's understood that you're still going to be a human being.
Sure.
And F up and everything else.
You're not judged.
All right.
I don't know, say Jesus.
So I click on the first thing.
Minor character.
And it's bigblackbitches.com.
Yeah.
And bigblackbitches.com has gone on to every other bigblackbitchesonabus.com, bigblackbitchesinspace.com, big black bitches, in a grocery store, big black bitches in Walmart, like every possible fucking thing that could come. Oh, sorry, everything that could come up had. So I'm clicking out of the big black bitches in school, big black bitches in business, big black bitches in a bus, big black bitches on a boat. Like you can't.
Because back then you had to do it individually.
And I walked in. I'm like, dude, were you on my computer? And the guy who does the overnight at Heaven 600, he's like, oh, no, man. The next day I come in, and the same thing happens again. So there was a man called the Reverend Lee Michaels. And the Reverend Lee, he was holier than thou. He wore white suits. He came in. He had he's the guy that drives the Chrysler 300. Does that make sense? With mag wheels, the tires about 2 inches.
But the church is broke.
Yeah,
as rich as he can be.
Money.
He is absolutely milking this system. This guy doesn't pay taxes. He doesn't do shit. He is just taking all the money, and he is having a great life, fucking bitches everywhere. He's a preacher. You know what I mean? He's a minister. So he's doing his deal. And he's married and doing all the thing, as far as I know. The next day, so the Reverend Lee comes in, and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "You got to get." I think his name was Stanley. You got to get him off my computer, man, because he's going to infect it. And at the time, I was the music director, so I had all these things on that computer that I needed to have access to. And now this computer is actually just wearing down and being crashed based on the stuff that's going through like Microsoft Word or Explorer #1. Or whatever, like they don't have the filters on it, right? So I go up to him like, "Hey man, could you tell Stan to stop jacking off on my computer?" Because like, first of all, I sit there for a living. He's like, "What?" And I told him. He's like, "Yeah, I'll talk to him." So the next day I come into work again. I don't say anything. My whole computer is blown up again. I don't know if this is based on the fact that this virus opened up all those things.
No.
I don't know if he was on those things.
Yes.
But Reverend Lee, who I explicitly came up to and talked to him as a man, not as a minister, preacher, he said, "Hey, is that M-bomb still putting big black bitches on my computer, on your computer?" And I said, "Lee," I said, "look, man," I said, "I wasn't going to say anything to you." I said, "but the problem is that," I said, there are 5, like the janitorial staff comes on the overnight
on
most of the radio stations and cleans out the trash. And I said, "Lee, I want you to come look at my trash can." And in my trash can was 5 crinkled up tissues.
Oh no!
Normally, hold on.
No.
Normally when you come in the morning, trash can's empty.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sanitation's been there. Cleaning crew's been there. I was like, "Lee, I think Stanley has a cold, or maybe you should talk to him." I came back Monday, and that motherfucker had been fired. So, iHeartMedia, Bonneville, Intercom, Clear Channel, whatever you want to call yourself, Alpha Media, have a reason to fire someone and put them on the street. Because you know what? There are definitive reasons why people should probably not be in your place of employment.
I'm going to take the other tag. All of you radio companies, and look, Clear Channel's the worst. I don't feel bad saying that. They know
I worked for them. They weren't bad when I worked there. I'll be honest with you. They were.
Did they fire you?
Of course
That's
they did.
what
They're
they did.
f***ing
So
iHeart.
listen. Have a reason
And they
to be
lied to me
on
the whole
air,
way through.
man. Care about it. Make it matter, man. Look, we got your back. We love you guys. We want radio to be spectacular. For a company that's garbage, and the company's been known to be garbage, they wouldn't even argue that. And if they did, beat their ass because that's a lie.
We're in
They
the fight
know.
of our life right now.
But man, oh man, oh man. What are you talking about? For what?
For just
No,
being entertaining.
care about what you do.
Yeah.
Do what you do. Yeah, that's all, man. That's all. I mean, I work with people that got fired. I used to work with a guy named Tom Welch. Now, Tom Welch, he is, I found actually.
Is that the guy who brought the magazines in and all the time?
No, that was, I can't remember his name. That was Nate.
Oh, Nate.
Alrighty. Hey, Nate, you can't
we
in my
can't say
seat and masturbate. And he goes, alrighty. Right? That's me. Boss is about 2 weeks later. Oh, Nathan, we have to speak to you. You've been hiding pornography in the drop ceiling. I'm not joking, Mike. We know you've been masturbating in the seat.
Yeah.
You really have to stop. His response, alrighty.
In the drop ceiling, though.
Dude,
I mean, how'd
yeah.
they find it?
You know how we found it. So, so it's a guy named Tom Welch I used to work with, and good enough guy, I guess. I did not like him so much at the time. He's dead. I cannot speak ill of the dead, but dude weighed about 420 pounds when I met him. It doesn't matter, but just to give you perspective, he was sitting in a seat in front of me one day, and he's tapping his leg, nervous kind of thing we all do. And the dude I'm working with, who's not Tom, nudges me and points. And it looked like if a woman did the Charles shook her boobs, it was his back fat. Just to give you an idea. No, I'm not trying to paint a bad picture. I want you to understand who this guy is. He used to talk like this. So one time, I go into the bathroom, and he is sitting on the toilet talking to his sister he lived with. And all I hear over the sound of, right? Because he's going to town, and he says, yeah, just pull the roast out of the freezer. I'll eat it when I get home. I cannot explain how little I wanted to eat after that. But this guy found himself very, very, very obesity, by the way.
He died. He
He died of obesity.
He died of
right?
obesity.
This is a guy. It's not funny, man. Dude died. When Jared first came out from Subway going, hey, I ate whatever I ate. I went for a walk, blah, blah,
He got
blah.
a sandwich every day today.
So Tom, he would go to the Subway. The Subway was a block and a half from the radio station. And my man went down every day talking about Jared. We're very encouraging, going like, yeah, this is new stuff, dude. Yeah, do your thing. He walked to the parking garage, drove his car a block and a half, circled the block 8 times to park, went in, got the veggie sandwiches Jared did, but then he added oil, mayonnaise, like bacon fat, whatever. So anyway, as we're working there, he also found himself exceptionally important. And he would tell us all the time how important he was. And you didn't ask. And at this moment in time in my radio career, I've just started. We are working the AM station. We're working the overnights, man. And this is where you prove whether or not you care about what you're doing, right? It's just like the hours suck. The pay sucks. It's not that. You have to believe in this moment you have something more to put forward to radio, which is why we say what we say. God bless you, Clear Channel employees, but not the company itself, right? You put yourself in a situation. You work these garbage hours. But Tom would always tell us how important it was. And I remember when I was over Ted on this particular day. We did a bloodletting every year. CBS Radio did, Bob Phillips. We do it every year right before the holidays. Clear Channel does it after the holidays. They wait for you to
Well, they have
be
a heart.
there.
They're iHeart. It's iHeart.
Yeah,
So they have
iHeart
they
was right.
wait for the
Yeah.
holidays to get over, and then they
And
ship
listen,
candidates.
iHeart, if you got a problem with what I'm saying, you're more than welcome to pull down my pants and kiss my ass. All right, so
You fired me, so I don't give a
oh, I don't give a shit about them, dude. They're meaningless, right? In the end, you do a good job or you don't, or the company cares about radio or it doesn't. iHeart does not. But for 20 years, notoriously, they're the company that does not. So this guy, Tom, told us how important he was, and the last words you ever wanted to hear before Christmas were, hey, man,
Then
Bob.
he had a heart attack and died.
No, Bob wants to talk to you, right? So they're doing the bloodletting, same thing as it is every year. And keep in mind, at this point, I knew I was safe because I was underpaid and did 7 people's jobs. Ted did the other 5. So out of 12 people, we split it 7-5. We got it. This is why we're still around now. So Tom, shaking his leg with his back fat booby, right? He talks his smack, and then we hear these words. Yeah, Steve Stoffberg. Miles, you know him. Tom
Ravens.
Bob wants to talk to you. And we saw this guy's face. And I knew what was going to happen because I'm like, you're a sellout suck ass, right? But he goes down the home. About 30. Sorry, man, I'm not being mean. You know if you're competing or if you're dominating, right? So this cat comes back, tears in his eyes. Everyone knows what has happened. But me being me, and I had to deal with 3 years of this son of a bitch. I remember looking at him and saying, what happened, man? and they're going to fire me. I say, hey, man, I think I got most of your shifts. Pissed, he gave me a look. I said, I guess it comes down to whether or not you choose the good job or if you don't.
Hey,
and off he went.
So
now he's dead.
It's very important. It's seriously, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Yes, people deserve to get. I could go into Gary Michael's jack off every morning when I came into work. There's all kinds of stories we can tell of people who deserve to be fired. If you are young, if you want to do radio, if you want to do spoken word, if you want to do anything, look, you still have a chance. Don't listen to this stuff. Don't believe what these companies are doing right now. You go ahead and do what you want to do. If you're entertaining and you do a good job, you'll still be fired. Don't get me wrong, because it's happened in this market today. But you know what? If this is something you want to go for, don't let them kill your dreams. Don't let them kill your hope. Don't let them kill this industry. You keep busting your ass. Do your podcast with your friends. Look, we just got a goddamn sponsor today for $5. We've been doing this thing for 13 episodes. We've been in this business for over 25 years. We can't get a sponsor. You keep busting your ass. You'll be just fine.
Man, believe
just
in
like
what
we
you're
are.
doing.
We just got $5. We're going to go get 2 Big Macs.
We found out recently, apparently, radio's pretty terrible. We did not know. We assumed.
I knew.
Man, pursue your thing. Do your thing.
Do your thing, man.
And if anyone has a problem with saying, you're more than welcome, and I mean this, more than welcome to kiss my ass. I don't. Sorry.
Hey, there's episode 13 of The Greatest Story Never Told.
You've been listening to The Greatest Story Never Told with Miles and Thrill on radio.com.
Oh, man! A Double Flush production.